Science is being a crusty medicinal chemist with greater than 20 years in the industry. How do you percolate an idea without concern of giving away too much? Usually all ideas need a bit of maturation before becoming ready for actual progression to a company start. So Jill, that will give you the chemistry opportunity here.
You can always do an NDA, a mutual NDA, then your idea is protected. And again, investors want to see that you're building something defensible. So the faster that you can write a provisional, the better. They are not expensive. And it gives you a year to come up with money to then decide what countries you'll have the real patent in. But of course, they need to be kicked around. And you need to talk to people. So it's that fine line, but NDAs can be really helpful. You can easily incorporate, and investors want to see a Delaware C corporation because it's easier to get through legal stuff in Delaware. But you can decide early on if you want this to be like a lifestyle business, then you want likely a pass-through entity. So you could do a C Corp with an S status. That means that there's no double taxation like there is a C Corp. And that also gives you an additional protection. And then through that entity, you would be drafting these NDAs, and they're online for free. Even the most expensive lawyers give you an a la carte for like $2,500. We'll give you all these documents, hiring, non-disclosure agreements, assignments for IP, anything you could possibly want. And then you fall in love with them, and then you find out they're $900 an hour. But, everyone has these startup plans, but ideas can be worth a lot. And it's so fun to, I love that you said you're crusty, but it'll make that crust actually melt, that passion for that new idea. So try to work on that idea at least once a day, and then you can work up to, you want 5 conversations a day about it, even if it's to your grandmother who needs to understand the idea. Otherwise, you're making it too complicated.
Yeah, I just want to add one comment, and NDA is always good. Look, if you have not filed a provisional, then you probably shouldn't be talking about it yet, and really focus on that and get some advice on what type of claim structures and what's going to be a better potential patent. But I think early stage companies worry too much about sharing their ideas. It usually has a negative effect for investors when they're so worried. It's kind of like, well, how good is your technology? How good is your idea? As a medicinal chemist, I'm sure, Brian, you can look at a lot of stuff and say, wow, I can work some, modifications around this and create some new IP. Well, that's great. Go ahead and do it and submit. But most investors are not going to try to figure out, how can we get around this? How can we work with somebody else? How can we create our own IP? They're investors, and they want you to be real and open with what you want to do. And they're not, most of them are not going to be picking up the phone and saying, hey, I just met with this guy or gal, right? And this is what they're thinking about doing. What do you think? They're going to respect that, you've come to them. They're going to appreciate that you want, that investor as an investor. And I would say, don't worry too much about that. But if you can get your IP filed, then you should be protected.
Great advice.